What is pay to win? This might be the most misunderstood, misdefined, incorrectly defined, most argued, controversial topic in the gaming community. Now, this is a topic that I've been wanting to make a video about for quite a long time. I'm actually going to make this one quick. I'm aiming for a few minutes. First, I want to define what pay to win is, and then I want to say why it's generally a bad thing for gamers, for the consumers that are playing the games. And then I want to say something controversial, which I think is true. Pay to win is actually a good thing. So let's start with the definition. This is a picture that I found quite a while ago. I use it in my Is the Cycle Frontier a Pay to Win game video, and I reference it all the time when talking with friends and colleagues about pay to win. This is so simple, very simple. Does this multiplayer game allow you to spend real life money to advance your character or characters' gear or stats? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, the game is pay to win. If the answer is no, the game is not pay to win. Just a few things that I want to mention that are absolutely pay to win, but a lot of people don't think that it's pay to win. And I'll explain by using logic. I know I'm right, and I know that you are all wrong, and I'm trying to be as polite as I can about it, but this confused argument has been happening for so long, for so many years, that I guess I'm sounding a bit condescending. I swear I'm not trying to be, okay? XP boosts, a consumable item that you buy with real life money, which gives you a percentage boost on the experience that you gain. For example, if you're playing a game and you kill an enemy or a mob, and that enemy or mob gives you a little bit of XP, and then if you kill enough of them, then you level up, your character progresses another level, the boost would give you an extra percentage towards your XP gain. So sometimes it's 5%, sometimes it's 20%. It really depends on the item in the shop. If you are gaining XP faster than someone who is not using an XP boost, you are absolutely paying to win. Items that have stats, this could be an armor, chest piece, this could be a sword or a gun. The reason why I have to explain this one is because the counter argument I hear to, well, this item isn't that great, you can just get better ones. The free ones are better than the ones you can pay for in the store. Here's the thing. If you're level 1 and I'm level 1 and we start the game at the exact same time, and I go to the cash shop and buy an item that has better stats than the starting weapons, then I am paying to win. Sure, in 20 minutes, 2 hours, whatever, how long it takes, depending on the game, you can get better items without spending real money. That's fine, but I will have likely progressed faster than you because I got the good items early, or I got an item that was a little bit better than the standard one that you get, your starter weapon or whatever. Now, if there's an MTX shop, a microtransaction shop that's selling items that aren't better than what you normally get, than what you normally start with, there's always some sort of feature that's different. Like, oh, well, this gun isn't as good as the starting gun, but it makes the enemies ignite on fire or something. Then we have cosmetics. Now, cosmetics normally aren't pay to win. Let's be honest, it just changes the way your character looks in game. But if you're playing a game like Arma, an army game where you're running around a forest or a desert or what have you, and the cosmetic that you buy blends in with the environment. For example, you're playing in a desert map and you buy a cosmetic that is beige or looks like the same color as the environment around you, then you are paying to win. You're paying for an advantage. Games offer different editions. They offer the standard edition, the deluxe edition, the super duper, look at me, I have a large credit line edition. If these editions, like Tarkov's Eternal Darkness, or I forget the name of their deluxe edition of the game, you get more stash tabs in your stash, you get a bigger secure container, which is really important in that game. It's a little container you can put items in that no matter if you die or not, you still keep the items. These are all good examples of pay to win. You can try and argue that they're not very pay to win, but at the end of the day, it's still pay to win. Sometimes you're going to hear people label a pay to win game as pay for convenience or pay to skip. For example, in World of Warcraft, a character boost. There's a bunch of stuff you get with this package. I'm just going to mention the character boost part. You go from level 0 to 70 with a swipe of the credit card and one left click. And you have people saying that this is not pay to win. They're saying it's pay to skip. Skip the content where you have to grind to the end level. It's insane. I don't understand how people can try and dilute the definition of pay to win. Is pay to win good or bad. No one can seem to agree if it's good or bad. I hear a lot of people saying, if you think pay to win is bad, it's because you're poor. Now, while that might be true for some people, some poor people who wish they had more money so that they could spend the money in game, that is not why pay to win is bad. The context in which I'm saying it's bad is that it's bad for you and me, the people buying the games, the people playing the games, us, the gamers. Pay to win is bad for us for a large host of different reasons. I'm gonna name a few of them. The biggest reason why pay to win is bad is simply because it unevens the playing field. When you were playing a competitive multiplayer game, you were trying to be good at the game. You're trying to win the game. You're trying to be better than the other people you are competing against. Now, if you're not the best, if you're not top frag at the top of the leaderboard, this sends a very simple message back to your brain. And that message is, you suck. You need to get better. And how do people get better at video games? By playing them over and over again, by trying to improve their strategy. If it's an FPS you're dying too often before you get a kill, it's likely because you're out of position. Maybe you need to work on your positioning. Maybe you need to work on your aim. Maybe you go download an aim trainer and spend a couple hours every day aim training. I used to do that when I played Overwatch and I was trying to get really good at Overwatch or Counter-Strike. Pay to win completely takes the skill, the sport out of the game. Someone who is objectively worse than you in the game, they have a lower skill level. Maybe it's their reaction time, maybe it's their map knowledge isn't that great, maybe they're too aggressive, whatever it may be. If they can just pay to win, what is the point of even trying to get good at the game? What is even the point of trying to win? There's no point in playing anymore. The second big reason why pay to win isn't good for gamers is because developers will develop their games around the way they monetize the pay to win items. So for example, in Battlefield games, you start with a couple guns, maybe one or two guns in the class that you pick. So if you pick the assault class, you're starting off with an M4A1 rifle or an AK or something. And the more you progress in the game, the higher your level your character is, you unlock different weapons, which are better than the starting weapons. The games that you unlock further in those games either do more damage or they have better optics or whatever. Now, what you can also do in the Battlefield games is buy weapon packs. You can buy the game, start the game, click on the store, and buy a gun pack, which just gives you a bunch of unlocks right from the get-go. The problem with this is that developers will make the grind to level and the grind to get new guns unbearably long. I'm not going to get into examples because I'm trying to make this video quick and we're already running into 5 minutes, but just look up Star Wars Battlefront. Look up how long they made the grind. These video game studios, these developers making games, are businesses. Businesses make money. That is the number one priority and purpose of a business. Do you really think developers are going to want to make a rich and engaging video game where the journey from level 0 to max level enjoyable? Or do you think that they're going to want to make the grind unbearably, painfully long and boring so that you are incentivized to swipe your credit card to skip the content? Luckily, this is not all development studios and corporations doing this. It's just the big boys that are doing it, the AAA, the quadruple A developers. And to be quite honest with you, the most grotesque, guilty participants in this whole pay-to-win monetization fiasco, it's mostly over on the east side of the world, the Eastern gaming industry. Here in the West, it's slowly starting to become a bit more pay-to-win, but it's mostly Eastern developers and mobile games in general. So no, I don't think pay-to-win is good for gamers. I don't think it's good for the industry. I don't really think it's good for anyone other than the pockets and bank accounts of these big video game development studios. Now, here's where my hot take comes into account. I think it is actually good for everyone, including us, the gamers. And here's why. Have you guys ever heard of 4chan? For those of you who don't know, it's an old image board website. You have these different boards, or what you would probably know as a subreddit. For example, cooking, where people gather and post images and discuss anything related to food and cooking. Now, there's this notorious little board called B, and this board stands for random. B doesn't have any category or theme around it. B is meant for anything at all. It's a free-for-all. As long as you're not breaking the law, you can post whatever you want there. What many people don't know is B was actually created as a containment board. What do I mean by containment board? Well, all the trolls and posters and idiots that were ruining everyone's discussions on, again, for example, cooking, felt more at home on a board where there was no rules or guidelines or theme, and they all naturally funneled their way into B. And to this day, you still have just posting on B. What does this have to do with pay to win and the video game industry and why I think it's a good idea? Well, all the people who think that paying to win is good or they don't mind it will be over there playing pay to win games. And where will people like me be? On the other side of the fence, not engaging with them. Pay to win games essentially will filter out all the brain dead credit card swipers. All these same people would probably pay for a trainer or a hack so they could cheat on an online multiplayer game. I don't think that's a stretch. I don't find that to be an outrageous claim. I think those people are one and the same. They are not good at the game and they want to quickly, with their real life money, become the best or better than most people. Monetization in video games has gotten worse and these studios have become more daring, at least in the Western gaming industry. We know the East is a lost cause, but we still have studios like the guys who made No Man's Sky, who continuously pump out DLC-sized updates for free for anyone who owns the game, and then they raise the price of the base game. Imagine you make a game, and as you continue to add things into the game which make the game arguably better and more rich and more in depth, that more people will be interested and want to play your game and therefore buy your game, which results in a lot of money. And what happens when all those people have bought your game? What happens when you completely tap out the market and every single gamer has bought your game? Now what do? Well, then you make a sequel. Or you make a new game. Or look at Fortnite, where their game is completely monetized through cosmetic skins, which have no impact on gameplay. Fortnite is an even playing field for everybody involved. Again, I could go on and on and on about this, but the video is already way too long. Thanks for watching.